Hi guys, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to be doing a bit of yoga to help you correct your posture. So poor posture can be down to a lot of things, including the way that you stand, the fold of your feet, perhaps. Some of us have a bit of a tilt in our pelvis, or weak core strength, these kinds of things. Or we're just kind of hunched over and we have this kind of yuckiness through our spine. So today we're going to focus on this feeling. So this like hunched over feeling that you might get if you're someone who sits at a computer all day, who taps away at their phone all day. You might have a lot of this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be relieving a lot of the stress that comes with that. So we're going to be opening up through the muscles around the neck and the shoulders. And then we're going to be building strength in our back. So as we start to work and activate the back muscles, we naturally start to draw our chest open, start counteracting this curling over kind of effect. So that's what we'll be doing today. So we're going to start seated. You can come to your mat, take some time just to remove the flesh from underneath your sit bones, letting your knees fall out to the sides if that's comfortable for you. Or if you're not that comfortable seated, you can sit with your back up against the wall, straighten out your legs, wherever you want to be. Just making sure that you're in a nice comfy position. Your hands to your knees or into your lap, and you can go ahead and just close down your eyes very gently. So no need to force the eyes closed, just let them fall. And taking some time now just to kind of tune into what's going on for you today. And in this moment, check in with your breathing. Maybe begin to elongate the breath a little, matching your length of your inhale to your length of your exhale. Noticing a softening through your shoulders as you breathe out. And becoming aware now of any kind of sensations that you might feel specifically in your upper body. Any tingles, any tightness, anywhere that feels really good and open, or anywhere that doesn't feel that great. And then you're slowly just going to start to kind of draw your chin in towards your neck so that your ears fall back. And you can kind of feel like your ears are coming into line with your shoulders. So you're just very gently tucking your neck in. And then we're elongating the spine all the way up from the base to the crown of your head, keeping with those nice full breaths and the gentle tuck of your chin. And then you can just flutter your eyelids open very gently. And then you'll take a breath in and reach both of your hands up nice and high. And then cover your left ear with your right hand. And then you can let your left hand drop to the floor. So we're gently just going to open up into the left side of the neck here. And if you want a little bit more, if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can bring the left hand to your shoulder. Gently guiding that opening. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. He might have some things to say because he's with us today. Yes, we agree. And then bring your hand just behind your ear so you can start to draw into the back of your neck a little bit. So you'll bring your gaze to the floor. And then bring your hand to the front part of your ear so that you can tilt your head up. And then slowly release. So we'll do that on the other side as well. So take that inhale and reach up. Exhale to bring your left hand to your ear and drop your right hand either to the floor or to your shoulder. depending on how deeply you want to go. And taking some nice full deep breaths here. Then you'll just bring that hand behind your ear. Bring your gaze down to the floor, drawing into the back of the shoulder and the neck. And then bring that hand to the front of the ear. Maybe lifting up their gaze. And then release. Nice. So just take a few spins through your neck, looking right and then left. Just to get a gentle release there. And then look up and down. And then take an inhale. You just want to roll your shoulders back. Back and around. Exhale to bring them forward. Breathe in, draw them up and back and around. And breathe out to bring them forward. So just some nice big circles through the shoulders. Nice. Okay, so we're going to take Gomukhasana. So you want to, a couple of options here depending on how tight you are through your hips. You can stay here if you would like to, or if you have a bit more openness to your hips, you can tuck your left foot into your butt, so just into the side of your butt, and then you'll bring your right knee on top of your left. And your feet will fall out to wherever they fall out to, depending on where you are with your hips. But you have your feet stacked up nice and high, and you're pressing down evenly into both sit bones here. So from here, you're going to sit up nice and tall, and you're going to bring your right hand up into like an L shape. And then you'll bring your left elbow on top, and then you can wiggle your arms together. So you're going to press your elbows up and away from you, keeping a lot of height in your sit bones, in your spine, grounding in your sit bones. And then again, think about gently tucking your chin in a little bit so that you're not reaching forward with your head. You really kind of get some elongation through your neck. Some nice full deep breaths here. Nice. Then you can take an inhale and you can sweep your arms up. Maybe open up a little bit through your chest. And then as you exhale, you can bring your elbows down towards your knees. And then breathe in and come up. Release your hands. And I'll take it to the other side. So if you're in Gomukhasana legs, you'll take the opposite position with your right foot tucked under and your left knee on top. Or if you are just sitting with legs crossed, then you can stay where you are. And again, taking care to press down specifically through the left sit bone here, because we tend to rise up and lean over. So press down through the left sit bone. So you're, as best as you can, getting equal pressure through both sit bones here. And then you'll bring your left arm up in front of you, resting your right elbow on top, and then weaving them around so that your palms touch. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Nice and steady on your breath, and you're keeping that slight tuck in of your chin, whilst you're pushing your elbows up and away from you. Keeping your breath nice and long and steady. Nice. And then your next inhale, you can reach your elbows up to the sky. Maybe drop your head if that's okay for your neck. And then as you breathe out, you can come down, bring your forearms towards your knee. And then breathe in, come back up, and release. So you're going to roll over your knees now, find your way onto all fours. Taking some time to set yourself up really well. So you want to have your hands stacked underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And you're going to take an inhale, dropping your belly to the ground and lifting up through the crown of your head. And then as you breathe out, you'll curl it around the other way. So you're tucking your tailbone down, Bringing your chin to your chest and pressing into your hands. Take a breath in now. Drop your belly and lift up through the crown of your head. And then breathe out and curl it around the other way. Breathe in, drop your belly and lift your head. And breathe out to curl it around. Do one more just like that. So go ahead and exaggerate the movement. Get as big as you can. Drop your belly to the ground. Pull up through the crown of your head and draw your hands and your knees together. And then breathe out, curling it around. And then coming just to a neutral spine here. Nice. Take a big breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. And then you're going to curl your toes, lifting your hips into downward facing dog. So this is your first one. Just take some time to walk it out. So you're bending one knee and then the other, stretching into the hips, into your legs, seeing what's going on there. Taking care to be sure that your fingers are spread nice and wide and you're placing pressure through the knuckles and the fingertips, creating a kind of suction through the center of your palms. And then you're pressing into the outer edges of your feet, drawing your heels down towards the ground. Doesn't matter if they get there or not, but that's the intention. And you're sending your hips up to the sky. Remember, you can also take a bend in your knees here for now, if you would like to. So take a breath in now, and you can just gently lift the right leg up. It might not go very far for now because we're just warming up, but that's fine. So you'll lift it up nice and high, and then as you breathe out, you'll draw it into your chest and then gently step it through. Your left knee will drop down to the floor. You can release that left foot as well. And then we're going to set ourselves up for a lunge. So if you have kind of sensitive knees, then go ahead and grab a blanket. And you can always fold this blanket underneath your knee for extra support. You can also just double fold your mat underneath, so you have some kind of extra support underneath your knee before we rise up. So before we come up, make sure that you create an activation. There's like the sense of drag that you get between your front foot and your back knee. So turn that on, and then you can come up into the lunge. And we're going to take the hands behind our back into reverse prayer so that the palms are touching together like this, or you can just grab opposite elbows. Whoopsie. Or you can just grab opposite elbows. But the point is that no matter where you are, reverse prayer or just grabbing opposite elbows, you're starting to pull your shoulder blades back and together. So you're activating all the muscles in your back now and opening up through your chest, getting some space through the tops of your shoulders. And taking some nice deep full breaths here. Again, be conscious of this gentle tuck of the chin. So we're not sticking our heads out. We're gently trying to align the ears, the earlobes specifically actually, with the center line in your shoulder. And taking some nice deep breaths. And then you can go ahead and release that. Give your wrist a little shake out if you need to. Bring your hands to the floor, and now you can step this right foot back onto all fours and into down dog. So we're going to do the same thing now on the other side. Lifting up through the left leg this time. And then drawing your knee right into your chin and stepping it through. Dropping the right knee down onto a double folded mat or a blanket, whatever you have, for some support. So again, create this turn on, this engagement between the front foot and the back knee. So when you rise up, you're super stable and strong. And you're going to take reverse prayer hands once again, or if you grabbed opposite elbows, you'll grab opposite elbows the other way. So the way that feels, excuse me, a little bit weird. So not the way you did last time. Whatever you're doing, you're squeezing your shoulder blades together and pulling them back. And again, keeping this slight tuck of the chin. So if you have 2 or 3 extra chins, bring them out to play today. We want to see them. And you're keeping nice and steady in the breath. Nice. One more breath here. And then on the exhale, you can release your hands down. You'll step this left foot back now, and instead of going up into a down dog, you're just gonna roll yourself all the way forward right onto your belly. So you'll come to lie on your belly, and you can bring your hands beside you with your palms facing up. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna take a locust pose with some moves, some cool moves. So we're gonna take a locust pose, and we're gonna start by just gently lifting your head up off of the floor. Then you'll draw your shoulder blades together behind you so that your shoulders peel open like we just did. Lifting up the hands so you get this broadness and openness through the chest. And then you'll lift up your feet maybe, maybe not. But if you do lift up your feet, then activate the inner thighs together. They're not like touching, but they're turned on so that your feet are not falling out to the sides. They're very much awake. Nice, and then you'll bring your hands into a kind of goddess position. So your palms are facing forward. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're gonna sweep your hands all the way around, palms face up, and you're gonna go like you're gonna grab for opposite elbows, but you're not gonna touch your back. Breathe in, come back to goddess arms. Breathe out, go to grab opposite elbows the way that feels weird. So the opposite way you just did. Breathe in, come back to the center. Breathe out, round, grabbing for opposite elbows. Breathe in, come back. And breathe out, round, grabbing for opposite elbows or not. And then round, back to goddess arms. Take a big breath in and lift up through your chest. Draw your shoulder blades together and down. And then release. Come to your right cheek. Soften through all the muscles in your back. Big breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. And then press your hands into the floor. Lift your hips into downward facing dog. So, big breath, again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now you will step or jump your feet to your hands, lifting up halfway and then bringing your feet about hip distance apart, or maybe a bit wider if you would like, bending at your knees. And we'll take Ragdoll Pose. And we're gonna bring the tops of our hands to the mat or to the floor, letting your head hang really heavy. Just making some space through the spine, using the weight of gravity on your head to help open it up. And then press into the floor with your feet. Bend your knees, pull your belly button in to help you come up to standing. Bring your hands up overhead and then together at your heart center. So I'm gonna just walk you through good posture from the bottom all the way up. And now we've created a lot of openness and a lot of strength to hold ourselves in this upper body position. So let's just walk through what good posture involves from the bottom all the way up, incorporating them together. So you're going to stand with your feet about hip width apart, and your big toe is going to be facing forward. So you can rock backwards and forwards on your feet, just feeling for the place where you feel like your weight is evenly distributed across all four corners of your feet. And then spread your toes out nice and wide on the mat. And once you have that place, that good spot, you can begin to draw your attention up and draw your energy up from your feet. So what I mean by that is you can pull up on your arches of your feet, and as you pull up the arches of your feet, you'll feel this activation through the inner line of your legs. So you'll feel that activation, the turning on, that's all your muscles helping you to stand nice and strong. And then when you get to your pelvis, you can actually just put one hand on the base here and then one hand on your belly. And you want to look for a neutral position in your pelvis. So a lot of people have this kind of tilt in their pelvis where their belly is protruding and their hips are sticking out. And that's just lazy abdominal muscles and lazy back muscles, which we've been working a bit today. So in order to start to correct that in a standing position, you're just going to slightly tuck your tailbone in. So notice that as you slightly tuck your tailbone in, you already fire on the abdominal muscles and you start to get a bit more straight. So you don't want to over tuck it. So we're not looking for an exaggerated over tuck of the pelvis, but you want to find this kind of neutral pelvis. So the place in between the two extremes. So once you've got that kind of natural tilt on your pelvis, you can imagine that I've got an ice cream scoop and I'm scooping into your belly button and I'm drawing it up. So you can get that lengthening, that strengthening and engagement up through your abdominal muscles. And then when you hit your ribs, the top part of your ribs, you can bring your hands to your ribs actually and feel them draw down and in. So we're activating all the way up through the core, from the bottom all the way up, and then tucking the front ribs together. So now we have the feet, the legs, the hips, the core is engaged, and we're into the upper body. So we've already been doing a lot of work to draw the shoulders back. So let's do that now. We'll draw the shoulders back, feeling your shoulder blades roll down your spine. And to facilitate this rolling open, you're going to spin your palms to face forward. Nice. Remember, you're still keeping your tailbone tucked, your feet spread, your weight evenly distributed. There's a lot to this good posture stuff. So now go ahead and take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth and relax your shoulders away from your ears. So you're not crunching up here and doing all that good work of releasing that we just did. So you're drawing your shoulder blades back and down and away from your ears. And then we want to get this alignment with the neck as well. So just think about getting the line of your ear in line with the middle part of your shoulder. So instead of being like this, you're going to slightly draw your neck in. So you're lining up as much as possible the earlobe with the shoulder. Nice. Relax your jaw, relax your face. And we're essentially standing here in the very best version of Tadasana, of mountain pose, that you can get. So every time your teacher calls mountain pose, this is where you want to be with all of this kind of mini internal engagement going on, even though it looks like such a simple pose. So take a few breaths here. And on your next exhale, you can release all that engagement. Come back to your slouch. You can feel that difference, right? As soon as you let go, you get this slouch. So good posture is, it's hard work. You do have to work at it. And it's something to be mindful of whenever you're doing anything at all. So the easiest way to do that is just to think about drawing your chin back so that you get the alignment of the ear and the shoulder. And then simply drawing your shoulder blades back and then down your spine. So no matter what you're doing, you can always start with this corrective posture. And you can start to feel a bit more open and free across the upper body. So take a breath in, now reach your hands up nice and high overhead, bend your knees, roll over into Ragdoll Pose. And then very gently place your feet, your hands on the mat. Wiggle your feet a bit wider. You can lower through Yogi Squat all the way to the ground. And then we'll come to lie on our backs. At this stage, because core work is very integral to having good posture, I would encourage you to pause this video and then go and watch my 10-minute core integration video on here as well. So you can search that in the search bar. It's called 10-minute core integration. I'll link it on here actually underneath. So I'd encourage you to go and do that as well so that you work through your core and then move into Shavasana at the end of it. So moving into Shavasana, now you can lie yourself on your back and just bring your feet to the edges of the mat, tucking your knees together. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, or bring your hands to your sides with your palms facing up. I kind of like this version because it continues to encourage that openness across your chest. Very gently let go of your breath. Letting it come and go very easily and naturally. And letting go of any thoughts that are coming to you about things you could or couldn't do, judgment about yourself or others. Remember that we are all a work in progress all the time. So be kind to yourself. Do the work and be kind to yourself. So I encourage you here just to drop right off into that exhale. Maybe begin to elongate the exhale. Soothing the parasympathetic nervous system, calming everything down. And slowly now just bring your awareness back to the present. Taking a little wiggle through your fingers and your toes. And then coming to curl up on your side. And then use your hand to support you as you come up to seated. And you may gather your hands together at your heart center if you would like, taking a moment just to feel grateful for your health and for your commitment to your health and to your practice. And bring your thumbs to your foreheads if you would like. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you like this video, then please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends who are also struggling with their posture, and I hope that it helps.